Hello and welcome to another Touratech product install video. My name is Ian and we are going to be installing the Touratech Laser Cut Aluminum Quick Release Headlight Guard. This is a very important product if you're going to be riding on gravel roads with your buddies, and we highly recommend it. As always, go to the Touratech website and download the product instructions. The torque specs are listed there, and there's a lot of little fiddly pieces on this headlight guard. You want to make sure you get them assembled the right way. So let's grab the instructions, grab our tools, and get to work. The first step to the install is to prep the headlight guard itself with the quick release components. You're going to need all 4 of these male quick release pieces. You'll need all 4 of the short M6 button head bolts, and you'll need all 4 of the small M6 washers. You'll also need an 11mm spanner wrench or a pair of pliers to grab these quick release pieces like that. And you'll also need a 4mm Allen wrench to turn these bolts. You'll find resistance when you start installing the bolts into these guys. The reason is they have a pinched thread in here to work as a mechanical thread lock, so you don't need to put any Loctite on these at all. I like to orient the guard so that the bend is coming up. The Touratech logo is pointing away from me. That way I know that I'm installing these pieces on the inside of the headlight guard. So you're going to take the bolt, you're going to put a washer on it, and you're going to put it through the headlight guard from the front, like this, and then gently screw the quick release part down onto the bolt. Do that with all 4 of them, and then we'll tighten them up with the tools. Now I'll take my 11mm wrench to hold the male quick release piece, and I'll use a 4mm Allen to screw the bolt all the way down. Now that we have the headlight guard assembled, it's time to assemble the opposing quick release pieces. So you'll need the 2 large stainless steel brackets, and you'll need the 4 female quick release pieces, these little rubber guys here. Grab the stainless steel brackets and hold them so that these corners are bent in. The quick release pieces here assemble from the outside in. The easiest way I find to install them is to push them in with my finger just a little bit, and then use an Allen wrench to push them right down through the center until they snap in. Now it's time to head over to the motorcycle. Okay, now we're back at the front of the motorcycle. First step is to remove this fairing here. It's a little nerve-wracking, but all you gotta do is just grab it, pull forward on the top and the bottom. Now that we have the front fairing removed, we're going to take out the bolt here and use that to attach those brackets that we prepared. There's a bolt on each side, but I recommend only removing one at a time. So install one bracket, put the bolt back in, go to the other one. To remove this bolt, you're going to use your Torx T30 wrench. At this point in the install, there are a couple of different options that you can select based on what parts you're installing at this time. The paper instructions do a great job of showing how the different spacers should be used based on what install options you're using. But I'll show you the way that I'm doing it on this bike right here. So you're going to grab the long flange head M6 bolt, and you're going to grab 1 long spacer and 1 short spacer, as well as the bracket that fits appropriately on the side. It's going to look like this when it's installed. It's got the quick release female parts bent in so that they come in toward the headlight. The other bracket is of course mirror image for the opposite side. So take the long bolt, put it through the bracket like this, and then put the small spacer on and the big spacer. Now you're going to use the same Torx T30 wrench to loosely thread the bolt in where you removed that factory bolt. Do not tighten this up all the way because we have to put a clamp up here first. Now you're going to take one of the rubberized clamps, one of the small M5 flange head bolts, one of the small M5 washers, and the M5 nut. And you're going to put the clamp over the bar here and then run the nut through and have the washer and the nut ready to go. Now we're going to leave it loosely installed like this and do the exact same thing fitting it on the other side. We're going to leave it loose so that we can adjust the position of these things when we have the quick release headlight guard snapped on before we tighten everything down. Okay, now we have the brackets loosely installed on both sides. It's time to grab the actual headlight guard piece and get it snapped in place to locate them properly, and then we can tighten down the clamps and the through bolts. The quick release guard just snaps right in to these fittings. With the quick release guard in place, now I can tighten down these side clamps and make sure that they're in the right spot. All right, now that I've used a 8mm socket and a Torx T25 to tighten down the upper bolts on the clamps, and I've used the Torx T30 to tighten up the bolts that go through the bottom, I can remove the headlight guard one more time. And now reinstall the factory fairing piece. Just be careful with this fairing piece when you're installing it. You don't want to scratch the paint on this thing. This factory piece installs with 4 rubber grommets, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. The bottom ones can be kind of hard to get lined up, but if you look in from the back here, it's not too bad. You can see them and get them right into place. Make sure it's firmly seated. Ready to go. Now for the finishing touch, we can install the headlight guard. Gosh, that looks good. All right, and that completes the installation of the Touratech quick release aluminum headlight guard on the Harley-Davidson Pan America. If you have any more questions about products we make for this motorcycle or any other adventure bike, please visit our website, touratech-usa.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and as always, thanks for watching.